And now, without further ado, I have the distinguished honor and privilege of presenting to you the Queen of Color, the Mother of Artists, globally acclaimed, award-winning master acrylic artist, and the star of our show, Ginger Cook, as she once again mesmerizes her audience with the daring do's and don'ts of painting with acrylics. Hey everyone, we made it! Thanks for hanging in there, everybody. Ginger, are you out there?
I am, John.
Hey, was
Hi.
that some fantastic cabin paintings today?
There were. I'm telling you what, if you want to paint a cabin, you know what Cinnamon told me about her cabin, you guys. That's my daughter, in case anybody just said, who's Ginger Cook, you know? Anyway, Cinnamon told me that that's her fantasy art studio, that's if she could have any kind of art studio, that she would like that.
She wants a cabin?
She wants that cabin by the waterfall. And I said I wanted a treehouse art studio. But we're not painting a treehouse art studio because we're doing cabins. But I'm just saying, personally.
But you know, maybe we don't think about a treehouse for ourselves sometime.
Oh, I'd love a treehouse.
I think we should do that.
I'd love a treehouse. You too, because I had a friend. Her name was Esther Hicks, and she, I got to see her treehouse, and it was air-conditioned 3-story treehouse.
3-story tree. Now, that's a big tree.
Well, the thing of it was they built it around it, and because you're not allowed to. When I was a kid, we used to. We'll tell more about tree houses as we go. What we're going to paint, we're going to get right into it.
Well, no, just slow down.
No, wait, John, because here's what I want to do. I know some of you need a potty break, so I thought I would tell some personal secrets while you're running to the restroom and getting your snack, and because if you've been hanging in there for the marathon, right, of this all day. Painting session, we're going to be painting a very simple snow scene. You're going to love it. You're going to get this easily. I picked something that's going to be easy for everybody to do. If you've never painted before, I think you can get this. And we picked one of our old dead artists.
One of the old dead guys.
One of the old dead guys. He, he died in 1894. So that's, and he was Norwegian. And it was one of there was a whole kind of cluster of Norwegian artists that probably nobody, unless you live in Norway, maybe you never heard of. But his work is, if you happen to go to Harvard, if you're the museum in Boston has some of his work, and so does Harvard, the Hermitage, and the Big Deal Museum in Norway has some of his stuff. And his name is Fritz. Thaulow, Thaulow. I'm probably not saying that right because I write.
We need somebody from that district.
Mona
might be able to tell us.
Maybe Mona can tell us how to say it phonetically.
So spell it again. She's on.
Thaulow. So hey Mona, and maybe you know how to tell us that Thaulow was how he spelled it. Anyway, I think it's kind of cool because no pun intended, because he comes from a very cold climate, and he painted a lot of. These sort of winter scenes because they got a lot of winter over there. Yeah. So that being said, John, if you would be so kind as to bring the video down now. If you've never subscribed, you're new, please subscribe to our channel. We've got some fantastic winter snow scenes, summer flower things. We've got some amazing videos on this channel, some great how-to acrylics. Our goal is to take people who've never painted before and bring them up to a level where you can really paint anything. And if you watch these, then we take you over to our art academy, and we show you. I'll tell you what, I've been painting acrylics since the 60s when no one ever heard of acrylic paint. So a lot of the way I do things nobody else does because I sort of developed them. Anyway, that being said, let me just show you some other art by this artist. This is one we have on our website, gingercooklive.gallery. We introduced this as a step-by-step lesson last year. I love it. It's sort of everything's sort of thawing, and don't you love the reflections in here? Okay, so you can see this is our little 9x12 canvas. This is what we're going to be painting today, and I painted it just a burnt umber. And I'm going to tell you the colors we're going to put out. So that we've got some people probably needing to take a quick break, get some water. If you've been hanging in there. And we want to thank our moderators who stuck with us all day. Kim Sung is here, and anybody else?
Mona.
Mona, and what about Wendy? Did she make it?
I'm not seeing Wendy.
That was probably too much for Wendy. Originally we would have gone on at 3:30, and we've all been hanging out here playing video games till it was our turn to play.
The important stuff.
The important stuff. Actually, John and I are leaving on a trip tomorrow, and we should be packing. I had this really horrific experience with the washing machine today, and it sort of turned me off of laundry for like about 10 minutes. Then I realized that really didn't matter. I had to do laundry, so you had to get past it. So I guess I could share some of these crazy stories. I found a cockroach in my washing machine crawling around.
At least he was clean.
God.
At least he was clean.
And I was looking in there and going, I don't know if he fell in from the ceiling or how he got in there. You know, if you leave the back door open, we have things in Houston, they're called tree roaches, and they're not like the little kitchen cockroaches that eat food. These are disgustingly big things about the thighs of your thumb.
And they crunch under your foot.
Oh my gosh, they're just awful. And then I was thinking, well, how am I going to get... He kept racing around the inside of my washing machine, and I kept going, oh damn, I need the vacuum cleaner. That's what I need to do, that vacuum cleaner. So then I started the hunt for the vacuum cleaner and hit my head on the cupboard looking for it. And then I was swearing and mad, and then I'm thinking, oh, the vacuum cleaner's upstairs. I don't feel like trumping upstairs. What else could I do? Think. I need to get rid of this cockroach because I've got this laundry. We're going on a trip. I must do the laundry. I can't procrastinate. You see me putting paint out as we go. And then I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to get some sort of cloth and I'm going to whack it. I'm going to stun it, and then I'm going to get him. And which is what I did. I whacked him, and he kind of stunned, and I got the cloth in there, and I got him, and then I went to take him over and drop him in the toilet, and there was nothing in my cloth. He wasn't in the washing machine anymore, and he wasn't in my cloth. I don't know where he is. I didn't tell you that part. I don't know where he went. But, you know, it's just, these are the kinds of things that, you know, you don't start your day off like that. But in any event, I wasn't going to, you know, wash the clothes with a bug in there. So there you have it.
It'd be a clean bug.
Right? You know, no. So, you know, you got to get the bugs out of things, right? It's just unbelievable. Anyway, so that was the...
That's how we started our day?
That's how we started our day.
Roaring start.
Cinnamon, and my daughter Cinnamon said, you didn't come over and see me on my live show. I said, no, I was battling cockroaches, you know, today. I mean, that was your mother was being extremely brave. I didn't call John down from whatever he was doing. My first thing was just throw up my hands and, you know, get John on the phone and say, can you come downstairs and solve this little problem? And I thought, really, honestly, this is so pathetic. Of course you can, you know, debunk your own cockroach problem. So anyway, I just don't. I'll tell you what, when I was a kid, I had a cat that was so in tune to me, I could say, get the buggy, and the cat would go, and it would go and it would eat any buggy I stuck to that, get the buggy. You know, I'm telling you what, I had a bug-eating cat just for incidents like that, you know, when you didn't have
I think that's perfect.
It was cat, got the buggy. And then I remember, you know, and very in tune to me, this cat. And so then one day I was living in Aspen, and in those days you could keep your window open at night. There was no mosquitoes or anything that came in, and kind of keep your window. The cat would just like to sit on the windowsill, and we could hear this other cat crying. You know how they do when they're sort of going, you know, it's not really crying. It's one of those kind of Call of the Wild kind of I'm the hot stuff on the fence kind of thing. Dare anybody to challenge that. And so just for fun of it, I said, kill, kitty. And this cat took off after that other cat. And I'm going, don't kill it. I was just kidding.
So yeah, that's really good in the neighborhood, don't you think?
Just you know.
Ginger has a killer cat.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, who knew? When you say people don't give animals enough credit. Just don't get for what they really kind of understand. They may understand and just say, yeah, you and one arm and they ain't doing it, but I think they get it, you know?
You know that yellow that you have there, that cad yellow on your palette?
Yeah, I'm gonna
it looks a little dark.
I'm changing the labels. So I'm telling great stories here, you guys. We got to get the energy up in the room, man. Don't you think so? This is yellow oxide.
Who saw?
Yeah,
Marty saw that.
Thanks, Marty. Well, you know what I mean. And
are we not using cad yellow today?
We may. I haven't decided.
Okay.
And no sense in wasting paint. I'm not even sure we're using the purple, and I'm not sure about these two either. But
it's great to put all this stuff out that you're not sure you're going to use.
I know.
So you're telling the people maybe you shouldn't put all these out quite yet. Maybe you should watch this entire lesson.
For sure, we're going to use all the browns, and first thing we're going to use is first thing we're going to use is some chalk. Now, you'll notice that we've got this nifty tree here. Now, look, somebody asked us if you happened to watch our amazing show last Tuesday, right? I mean, amazing.
It's the talk of the town.
It's the talk of the town. I mean, and what you can learn from the masters. And even though I didn't paint anything till the end, I did paint something. It's worth seeing. Hang in there. Fast forward if you need to. I talked about picture patterns. Can you guys guess? Remember we talked about, triangular picture patterns. This is an S. Do you see that?
I see the S.
This is an S picture pattern in this one. So somebody asked about picture patterns. That's an S. What was the picture pattern in this, by the way? This is also kind of an S too.
Looks like an
it?
S to me.
Yeah, these are. So he preferred the S picture patterns. All right. Oh, and you want to see something really cool?
I do.
I mean, just amazingly cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm excited about doing this, but I got to tell you that John and I, whenever we leave on vacation or holiday, or we can just say it's sort of a working trip we have to take, whenever we leave out of town, we do. This is why we're doing another live one today too. We do really good recorded lessons for you guys. Okay. Not just for our members at our gingercooklive.gallery, which are some amazing stuff coming up, but look at this. I'll give you time to go hunt it. This is going to be released soon on YouTube. Do you love this? All right.
I love that.
This is another old dead guy one, right? And I love it. This is an 8x10 canvas.
Well, it's an 8 by something oval.
Well, it's an 8 by
that?
close enough to 8x10 oval. And if you buy an oval canvas, look to make sure whoever has it sells you a frame too, because otherwise they're impossible to find. But I thought this was charming, and you could even do this as a rectangle. But don't you think that would make a great holiday card?
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
and I tell you, in the original, he had a few, cows and chickens, and this is so small, I kind of left them out. I think it's still very nice.
You kind of left them out. I don't see them, so I don't think there's a kind of involved here. I think
well, they might be living in the barn.
Oh,
It
my
was cold.
mistake.
I put them back in the barn.
They were cold. Okay.
They were cold.
I can see that.
Who leaves animals out on a day like that? They're in the barn, man, where it's warm. But he was very responsible.
When I had my chickens, they like to go out and play in the snow.
Did they really?
Yeah, they were funny.
All right, so
Funny
I thought you guys would be really excited to see that, and then this next week.
And don't ask when that's going to be. It's not going to be this week.
But it's YouTube. It's a YouTube
It'll be
release.
a YouTuber.
And then this is what we're doing next week. This is another old dead artist this was done in the late 92 or something, and this is called Fairyland. All right, which I love this. Don't you all in the purples?
I just can't believe that was done in late 1800s.
I know, so pretty. And then we're doing next week too. We're doing these horses, a kaleidoscope of horses.
I like that one. Look at the colors in that.
Okay, so I thought that was really too cool for words, right? And then, all right, one more thing, and then we'll go, because I have to show you this. One more thing, and then we're going to get down to the business of painting this. One more thing, because I want our members to know some stuff that's coming up mid-October. For if you're a member of gingercooklive.gallery, why do you want to join us besides getting the excellent personal art coaching? I mean, even if that's all I ever offered for that price, everybody should just be flocking. I don't understand why you all aren't, but I'm sure you will in the future now that I've explained it. But check this out. Do you love this? This is called Virginia Park. You may not know this, but this is the secret. Some of you, I'm saving for those of you who had to run to the restroom. This is the secret. Virginia is my actual name.
No.
Ginger's a nickname.
You told me it was Ginger.
I lied. Anyway, Virginia is my actual name, and Virginia Lee. Don't you love it?
I do.
And
Virginia Lee?
Leigh, Virginia Lee. And anyway, this is
Virginia's Park.
This is Virginia Park. I love it. And if you like that, remember see how this goes.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Don't tell the camera guy.
Back out, camera guy. Back out, camera guy. Look how this goes with we have a whole series, probably 5 or 6 garden paintings, and all these go. Isn't that great? And this one's done in the Thomas Kincaid style of painting, but it's an original piece.
Yep.
It's not a copy of a Thomas Kincaid, but it's done in his style. And I show you how to do that using glazing medium to get this interesting sky. I've never showed anybody that trick before, to get that in the water. It's really pretty. So anyway, members, and remember, you can just join us for a week too. All right, so let's get going with this. All right, so if this was halfway, I've determined that this little house here is about halfway. Here's the middle of our canvas here. So if we just did a line here, let's just do this right now for just kind of like this is halfway, right? And then halfway here, this is where this little house starts. It's our little shack here, our little, here's our little A-frame here for our cabin. Our little cabin starts about here, and it's got some snow, right, like this. Now this is really simple, and then the edge of this is kind of rounded. You know what's hard to do if you've never seen snow? Sometimes it's hard to paint it. And then we've got a part of a building here. In fact, I think I could, I'll probably have this too big here. Let me just move this over. We got part of a building right here, like this.
This is a 9 by 12 canvas.
9 by 12, and then I've got a little bit of a cabin showing right here, like that. And then let's just bring the roof over a little bit. The roof comes out a little bit more than halfway. And then our tree comes just about here, our big tree, and it's kind of leaning this way, like that. Kind of remember, trees are fatter at the bottom, and then you got some snow. And then down here, about, let's see, 3 fingers, 4 fingers, maybe 4 fingers. So you remember we've got an S pattern, so that's going to come up like this, kind of come over to, here's our door in the cabin. Just put the door in. So it kind of comes a little bit past the door. Then there's our kind of a little bit of snow, and then this way, down like that, and then it's kind of, there's a little bit of a bank here, see? It's like, there you go, a little bit of bank. Kind of coming this way, another little snow bank and out, right? I mean, that is pretty easy, right?
And hey, we'd like to thank Anne-Marie for the donation.
Anne-Marie, thank you so much. And listen, Anne-Marie, darling, John, explain to Anne-Marie how to find things on the search engine on our website. She really
the search engine, guys, look, on the search engine, we are using Google search on our search engine. So you go to our, what's it called, lesson library page, category listing, it's the menu, and it'll say search. And in that search, just put in one word that you might find our picture for. Like if you did garden, just put the word garden in. Now, at the top of the search results is going to be ads, because we can't afford the $20,000 they want a month to get rid of the ads. It's something astronomical. It is silly. So scroll down a little bit, and then you'll start seeing all of ours that are in there that have the word garden in it. And you look through those. A lot of the times, if you can think part of the title, sometimes it's the subject. Anywhere that we might have used the word in the description. We are working on reworking the website, so we're going to make it easier and better descriptions as we go forward, but bear with us as we go through that. And if you have any trouble finding anything, do write us. Use the contact us, and we'll help you find it.
Yeah, just say, I'm trying to find the picture of the one Ginger showed on the show with the chairs. Where the heck is that? We'll tell you.
Yeah.
And even when we're traveling, we spend 2.5, 3 hours every day on the internet, and we check. That's in the morning. We check it constantly throughout the day. So we never leave any. We still do personal art coaching. Everything stays the same. The only thing we don't do is the live shows. And I tell you what, we work like dogs to get these videos ahead of time, so that we can be able to do all the take a trip and still be able to keep up with everything everybody's doing. All right, so we've got this cabin here, right? So you guys, you're going, yeah, we saw the cabin. And you saw where the roof doesn't go all the way up to the top. Let's just make this one first. Shall we do that? Let's make a gray. Let's start with white and a little bit of yellow oxide, like that, and a little bit of burnt umber, and a little bit of ultramarine blue, tiny bit of cad red medium, and voila! Do you love that? Voila! We've got a gray. Did you see how I did that? Now I'm just using a 1/2-inch angle brush, and I'm going to come on right up here, and I'm going to come over here like this and say, here's the edge of this house. Now, what you want to do is then take it, and we're just going to make some boards going sideways, and use the brown background as your crack between the boards. This is really simple. See, I mean, this is not, I promise you, I thought of this for you guys. This is not tricky. I knew you could do it like that, see? And you're going, oh, that's kind of cool. And then you could take a little bit of brown and ultramarine blue, make it a little dark color. That's the burnt umber. And just come right up here like this, just straight down. And then underneath here, underneath the house was something really dark, even with a little purple. It was just underneath here, there was some dark, okay? And then right in here, this little area here, a little bit of purple and brown maybe, It's very dark right here, this little area right next to the house.
And when you're saying brown, you're saying burnt umber.
I'm saying burnt umber and a little bit of purple maybe you could put on, because that's our darkest area right here. Now, as long as we're doing that color, let's come into our stream and add some dark. Just make it even darker than we have it. So a little bit of umber, a little ultramarine blue, and maybe a little bit of purple. Let's just get that. That's the darkest colors we can make with this. Let's just come on up here and do that, and do our stream like this. Now again, sometimes snow is really, for those of you who live in snow, it's just hard to imagine. There are people in the world, particularly in Texas maybe, who have never actually experienced snow, walked through it, don't know it, and sometimes it's a little bit challenging to paint something because your subconscious knows a lot of stuff. How's that? I'm going to just say it that way. Your subconscious knows a lot of stuff, and that when you get to painting, you'll put stuff in. If you've been tromping through snow your whole life, it'll just come second nature to you. And for somebody else who has not done that, it may be a bit more of a challenge. Now, okay, I want to come under my on my house here. I'm going to come up. I got a little bit too low here. I'm going to come up here with that, my roof of my house, and come up here with the dark line like that. And I think I'll put a little dark line up here, just up. Then I'm going to raise the height of the door. This is why I love chalk, because you can change anything. Okay, I'm going to raise the height. In fact, I'll paint the door in dark, and then we'll put some light over it. Just trying to find some things that make it so much easier to paint. Okay, so that's our dark here, like this. All right, so far so good. Yeah, and then we got dark under here, and then our tree. Let's just take some burnt umber plain by itself and just give our tree maybe a little tiny bit of ultramarine blue with that, because we want burnt umber, ultramarine blue, a little purple. This is another dark area. The light apparently is coming from this direction on this, somewhat. It's a very flat day, so it isn't really, but for all practical purposes, that's where the light's coming from, is this tree right here into the snow. We're going to say that's the darkest part, but we'll just do it all dark here. And I want to make sure I have it dark a little. Oh, now this is interesting. I want you to see, can you see in the actual photograph of his artwork, do you see where the shadow's at an angle, not straight down? Do you see that?
Because the tree's at an angle.
Because the tree's at an angle, so it's going...
The reference photos is coming up shortly, guys. I got to get it transferred
reference
over.
photos coming up shortly. I want to show you that right now with the chalkboard. Let's get out the chalkboard and take a moment to chat with you about things.
Oh, look at that. It says gingercooklive.gallery, and please subscribe.
Please subscribe to our channel, YouTube channel, and if you want to visit us, that's where we are. So if you've got some water here like this, right? And I've got let's just say I have a post coming out of the water like that. Maybe it's who knows what it is, right? So my reflection is straight down. But if I have a post that's leaning this way, reflection's going this way. Jackknives. Can you remember? Reflections, jackknife. That's. I don't know if there's a translation for that. Maybe Mona knows. They jackknife. It's going to go this way. Okay. So now you know that, right? So that's good to know. So if you've got a tree that's leaning this way, like so, and you've got some snow, the reflection has to go that way. See? Well, that was worth the price of admission, waiting all these hours just to find that out, wasn't it? Okay, good. Glad you found that out. Now, let's take a little bit of burnt sienna, like that, and a little bit of mixing white, and mix that color, burnt sienna and mixing white on this dirty brush. I'm going to make this sort of light, a little yellow oxide to it. That's pretty. Here, now I'm going to pinch the brush, wipe that off. Now I'm going to come under here like this, with this color, and I'm just going to, I think maybe, let's take some cad red and put some cad red in that. That's not bright, that's not orange enough. Let's get this a little brighter. Sorry, Fritz. I'm going to just say that my cabin is this color, like that. I'm just going to warm this cabin up, like that.
Mona does not understand jackknife.
Jackknife. I think it comes from divers. Have you ever seen Olympic divers and they do this with their bodies?
They do a jackknife.
They call it a jackknife when they.
How do you know which way the jackknife goes? You got to think of it as it's a reflection.
It's opposite.
It's opposite of what you're seeing.
It's the opposite angle. So it's like it's opposite, like a K, like part of the letter K, or a reverse K, like the letter K. That would helpful. Is that helpful? All right, now back up here we have another little house that's just peeking through the trees back up in here.
Jackknife equals goes the opposite way. There you go.
Thank
you, Cats. That was
Thank
a good.
you. Somebody would know these things. It's good to have friends that know things, right? All right, so I'm going to take a little cad red medium, little yellow oxide, mostly yellow oxide, and to make this. I'm going to come in here and lighten this up a bit, just like that. All right, and the same thing here. So acrylics dry darker, so you're popping along thinking you're doing great, and they dry darker, and you're going, huh, what happened there? Okay, so all right, so far so good. Everybody's happy. Now, while this is still wet, could we come on this side of this tree here, like this, just using the angle brush here, and suggest, get some paint each time. Let's just suggest a little bit of yellow oxide. I think this is too wet. That's not going to work. It's too wet. That's all right. Good to know. Rinsing brush, ignoring tree. Moving on.
That'll show who's boss.
Yeah, we need some white. We need some gray. So I'm going to get some white to that. A little ultramarine blue. A little more titanium white. Oh, that's a pretty color. A little more ultramarine blue. And we're going to come up into here like this and make gray. I'm just going to say that all this is gray up here. All this sky back up here is gray, and I'm going to just come back down here next to my... Now look, this is so interestingly different, isn't it? I'm going to come right back next to this tree. I'm still using a pretty big brush. Okay? Coming right next to my little cabin here. I want this to be a nice sharp straight line here next to the cabin. And it's going to come this way. And, all right. Well, whatever's happening here. So that's with a little tiny, do you see my water here, you guys? I have a little tiny bit of water there, and I want a little bit of water just on the tip of the brush. And I kind of work that around. Now, we're going to say something happened back there. I don't know what. So I'm going to take a little bit of brown on the brush, a little bit of water, wipe it off, and I'm going to just suggest that, let's see, back in here, using just while this is still wet, we're going to apply a little bit of burnt umber. We're going to apply something, something's in the background, and it's so out of focus that you're barely seeing it. We're just saying something's back there, okay? Just barely seeing it, but way back here like this, that there's something growing back here, some little twiggy things, right? That in the background. So they're just there, but you don't really see it, okay? Now, awesome, that's there. Now, let's take some dark, right, like this, some burnt umber, and I want to come using just a thin, just the angle of the brush here. Let's just put these boards. See how this is dried enough where we can get away with that. This is a 1/2 inch angle, and look how interesting I can get these thin lines. All right, cabin. So far so good, yeah? All right, that's good. Now, how about, is this dry enough yet? No. All right. Moving on. We're just going to try and not dry if we can, and just keep going, because I so appreciate the fact you hung in there with me. All right, so let's take the same gray color and add a bit more white to it. All right, like that. And a tiny touch. I know he has no color in this, but this originally was a pastel drawing, so we're going to jazz this up a little tiny bit. Tiny bit of ultramarine blue in that, a little bit more white. Okay? And I want to come across here like this. I want to say a little bit more white here. I'm going to say this is our roof of our cabin. Now here's the trick. You don't want this line too straight. You want that line, don't get that, this one here should be very straight, but you don't want this one and this one either.
Because that's snow.
Because that's snow and it piles up. Piles up on stuff. you never talk to friends. I don't know what it's like in Europe, but you've talked to, back when I lived in Aspen, I was like 18, I think, when I first moved there. And the neighbors talked about how the snow used to be into the second-story window. And my dad, who was 99 when he died, grew up in Michigan, and he was saying that the snow in Michigan, when he was a kid, they'd have to go out the second-story window. It piled up so high in he called it northern Michigan. I don't know if there was something else to that, but it was northern Michigan, and the snow was so piled up so high that you had to go out the second-story window. And I remember as a kid having snow days where we would just in Seattle, where we would have at least 4 days off a year with the buses that weren't going anywhere.
Oh, in Michigan we get more than that.
And you used to get those still in Michigan, did you?
Oh, heck yeah.
All right, I'm going to put a little more white in here, John, just a touch more in here like this next to here. I don't want it, I'm going to lighten that up just a hair, right? And I'm going to say that this is another little bank of snow that's coming this way in front of this, all right, like this. So remember we had the gray, this is kind of coming back this way. Okay.
I'd like to thank Anne Marie again for a donation.
Thanks, Ann. That's so nice. And that those of you who have watched this and say, particularly if you're watching this later, if you've never watched a live show, the only time you can donate live on YouTube is through the live shows, and you can throw in $1, and it's really nice, or 10 or $50,000. Or just
you can't go 50,000.
How big? How much can they go?
I think 500 is the
500. Whoa, that's a lot. But I'm just saying, it's not. It's not.
It's greatly appreciated.
Greatly appreciated, and as little as $1 sometimes can make a huge difference. All right, let's make some more gray. A little bit of blue, a little bit of red, cad red medium, tiny bit of yellow oxide, a little bit more the ultramarine blue. All right, we're going to come in here with this gray. Here, let's come in here like this. Always lighten this up. Now, see how we're mounding the snow? And then notice the direction of the brush strokes. And we're leaving some of the brown showing through. That's why we had you paint it brown first. So we're leaving some of the brown showing through. You're already impressed, aren't you? How fast this is going. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And you don't necessarily want it all the same color, but let's just come in here like that. Everything's going this way. And I'm using, again, this one big brush is working pretty well. And have you thought about doing your own custom Christmas cards and holiday cards?
Oh, I love that idea.
And this is, what you've got to do that, and let's see, come down here and make these little bumpy things here. What you've got to do is get up a good snow painting now, like this. You've got a choice. Remember, I told you we've got some beautiful ones coming up. This will be, you could do this one. You could wait and paint this one, which will be a YouTube release in a couple weeks, I think, is when this one's going up. That'll be a YouTube release. And on YouTube, if you search my playlist for snow, we've got some really cute pictures on YouTube that would make darling Christmas cards. Like there's this one, that's a lesson on YouTube. Here's one that was really nice. Wendy did this on an old saw last year. And just made it longer. These are all old dead guys. Here's another one by the artist that you're now looking at. Isn't that pretty? That's actually on our website. That's not on YouTube. That's on our website. Again, 6x8, but a good one to start with. It doesn't have to be very big. Then you can go, and then this is also on YouTube. Isn't that pretty with the it's called Updraft with the birds. So we've got, and more than that, just so some of those. But what you do is you take a good photograph of it with your smartphones. If you don't have a smartphone, probably one of your kids does. I promise you they probably do, okay? I'm going to come up here like this, come behind our tree. And again, if you leave a little bit of the brown, that can be kind of nice, right? And I want to come down here in front of the tree in like a V, like that. See that? There you go. Just kind of make it and then kind of pull it in there.
We have some new people on the line, and Miss Evans would like to know, where did you and Ginger meet John?
Oh, where did John and I meet? John and I met through a mutual friend. In a galaxy
far, far away.
And through a mutual friend named Mark Kessler, who I originally started doing online lessons with a few years ago, and John worked for Mark. And my favorite line, shall I say something? I throw Mark under the bus here. I'm sorry, Mark. I love you, but I'm throwing you under the bus. Mark Kessler does kids stuff, kids drawing. He's really good. He's got an Emmy. He was what was his deal? I mean, what was his back in the day, back when Cinnamon was a kid? Cinnamon used to watch him avidly as a kid. Okay, and anyway, so I met Mark, and then through them, Mark suggested that I do some painting, on his not on YouTube, but on another private lesson deal he had going. And anyway, and so John was in charge of all of the online stuff. And my favorite thing from Mark was, he said to me, he said, "I don't want you taking up a lot of his time. I need every second he's got, don't bother him." I'm thinking, oh no. That's not how this is going to work at all. This man knows everything there is about computers and how to make this go. There's going to be none of this. Don't take up his time, right? So then I said, and this was way back then, I said to John, I said, listen, and then Mark kept, I got to say this too, because, Mark would never put anything in writing with me. And every time I turned around, it was a different deal. I mean, I never saw anything like it. Every time I turned around, it was, and then he wanted to, he started changing a bunch of stuff we'd not agreed on, which was very disturbing to me. I don't mind telling you, very disturbing. So then what I said was, look how this is coming. Isn't this pretty? So then what I said to John was, and at that time, John and his family, I said, hey, what do you think about going solo with me, and we'll become business partners? And John said, it's a great idea, right? So that's how we ended up doing that. And then some years later, John was able to come to, had since become a widower, and a couple years had gone by, and he was able to come, and I invited him down to Houston to work because it was closer, and now we're really good friends. So, but that's how it worked. We were good friends before it, but just saying. Now see, I'm putting a little white here. See how the gray dried darker? Look how we're getting this color.
Look at the reference photo in the upper right-hand corner, and look at what Ginger has done to it already. She's already added the gingerisms. So, when she picked this photo out, I looked at her and I go, really? She goes, oh yeah, it's beautiful. I go, really?
I think that needs to be a little grayer back here because it's in the background. Not so white. That little roof back there, see? Got that little fence with this, and then we need to lighten this roof here. This needs to be a little bit lighter. Needs a little bit lighter snow on this one. See, like that. Ooh, do. Neat, huh? I'm bringing that forward. A little tiny bit of water on the brush. See that?
Very little.
Very little.
You'll see Ginger uses very little water.
In fact, somebody, so now there's I'm just going to sort of do something like that. He had some sort of little white thing going on here. It's got, so we haven't put the plants in yet. That'll be the fun part. And we've got something growing here. Now I think that's probably dry enough. Oh, let's just finish this here like this. Now where this can go all wrong for you, and I know it. I just know where this can go all wrong. And I'm going to get my chalkboard out, and we're going to do a preemptive where it's going all wrong. Okay? Does that sound good to you? Because I can tell you right now, if it goes wrong for you, there's one place in here that will definitely make it go wrong, and we want to preempt that. Okay, so there, snow. Already we got some sort of little picture, right? All right, so let's put this in water for a second. I'm going to let this dry for just a second, and I want you to know how it can all go wrong.
What's going to go wrong?
Well, when you're putting in water, I've seen this before. One of the advantages of working like a dog and, for 7 years at painting parties, not getting home till 1 a.m, right? One of the reasons I did it was because it's one thing if you're sitting in front of me in a classroom. I'm an awesome teacher. If you're ever lucky enough to have a class with me, I'm telling you what, my students, do so well because I'm able to sit there and say, fix that. No, stop. Let me help you mix this color. Obviously, I can't do that for you. So one of the things I learned from doing these painting parties and I did them for about 7 years, designed the paintings and painted them, was that I know what people are liable to do. And here's what happens. So here's where I want my stream here. It's coming here like that, right, like this, and it's coming down here like that. Remember, we did this. And it's coming here like this and coming down like that, see? Okay? Everybody's with me on that. That's going to be the stream. But what people do, okay, and then how they get it kind of messed up, and maybe I can use some pink chalk or something to show you, is they might do this instead of coming under, all right? I want you to see this triangle here, all right? So it's not this, okay? The snow is doing this over a bank, right? And this is another place where it can go wrong. It's kind of level. It can come back in here and do this, but see where it's not doing this. See that? So you've got to think about snows. Think about mounding snow.
The snow is covering some of the water where you can't see it.
Mounding snow. Everything's mounding. All right, see, like that. Think about everything kind of going this way and then zigzagging in here, and it gets narrower as it goes back. But you've got to think about everything mounding like that. Okay? Now, ready? You see the difference? So watch this line here. Okay? That's where it can go wrong. But now that we've preempted it, you're going to be fine. All right. So that being said, I bet this is dried enough. Let's take a smaller brush, a little tiny. This is one of the smaller brushes, and let's put a little tiny tree back in here like that. We're going to say there's some sort of little apple orchard back in here. Don't you like it? I made that up. He's got a tree. Why wouldn't it be in an apple orchard? I'm going to say here's a little apple orchard. Let's take a little bit of...
we have a new member asking, Denise is asking, do you have a video that really shows and explains paint mixing and how much paint to use for beginners? Do you have any of that on YouTube?
Well, we've got it too. We've got a bunch of different ones, but we've got so many different ones. It's hard to remember, to say which. We do have one. We've got one on YouTube right now for anybody that wants to watch it. Look at my playlist under color mixing.
Okay, so you're looking for the playlist called Color Mixing.
Yeah, color mixing. Mixing colors. I've got a whole bunch of videos on that. All right, so I've got a little one back here. It's a little skinnier. You can see this one now. It's a little bit thinner. Okay, I'm gonna try for even a smaller brush than that. Let me try one. Where'd that one go? You're going which one?
Would you lose one of the brushes?
Yeah, probably. All right, I'm gonna try a little pointy brush because I need these very small back here. Like this is a little 0, 0. Let's see. Pinch. Here's what you do. You pull the brush, round it to a point like this, and twist it. Then put a little bit on the tip. And then you almost want to go straight up and barely touch it. See how my finger is keeping the little tiny bit of water just on the tip, and my little finger is holding it down, keeping the brush very straight. So right, we're just saying that there's some little tree right there, and which we just put in water or something, and I want to take a little snowbank like this and. There, you're buried. Okay, like that. There we go, a little bit of tree back there like that. So we're just saying there's a tree there, and as long as we're in the woods, we've got a little fence right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Some little sad little fence that's falling down. Well, if you've ever lived in snow country, snow is very hard on things. John, you know it has a tendency.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You may think you had a fence when you started, and then you may not have one now. Okay, so see my little fence back there? Isn't that cute? Come on, it's adorable, yeah? Okay, come on, it is. And let's put a little step right here in front of our cabin right there like that. Got a little step. Honestly, how fun is this? Now, let's take this, we're going to say we've got a branch that's going to come. This is going to be tricky. I think this is dry enough to do it. I want you to know, here's the other thing. Oh, back to the drawing board, you guys. And listen, if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, please do so. Back to the drawing board. Most people want to do branches like they're grass. I want you to do branches like they're cracks in a sidewalk. Did you ever play that game when you were a kid? Don't step on a crack because you'll break your mother's back.
Absolutely.
And skipped over all the crack, and then hold your breath through tunnels, all that stuff, right?
Yeah. Doesn't everybody? I still do it.
Yeah. See what I'm talking about? Because they don't just suddenly shoot out, unless it's bamboo. They do that. They grow and then they change direction. The word I've got is crookedy. It's not an actual word in the English dictionary, but it's called crookedy. That's what you're going for.
Crookedy.
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 Crookedy. Yeah. So we're
crookedy.
saying that we've got some sort of big, branch here, and it's got to be high enough so it's not catching our the edge of our. We don't want it to cross the intersection of this snow right here on our roof here. So it's going to come up here, and then, it doesn't have to be exactly where his grew. Maybe it's been pruned since then and it's moved. Barely touch it. You know what I mean? You're going to just say, here's some little branches, and it forks. Now this is where, if you're having trouble with this with acrylics, there's such a thing as a paint that flows, all right? It's called flow paint for a reason, and it flows, and it's much easier to use. I'm just using water and burnt umber, but if you have trouble, you can buy little tiny containers of it. Here's smaller than this. Here's a white from Golden, but they make little tiny ones. And I would own, if I were you, nobody pays me to say this, I would own white and brown, dark brown, because these are the colors you're most likely to need when you're doing tiny detail work. Is probably either brown or white. Okay, and then we're going to just like that. There's this little branch here, okay, and which I think is kind of fun. And then there's some other branches that are coming. They seem to be coming down this way from somewhere. That may be up here in the tree that we don't know about, just sort of off camera. He's got some branches that are coming down this way. And just, I don't think, they go clear in front of here too. And this is a long branch.
Reaches out.
It reaches out. Okay, this was, nobody's pruned this guy. And it comes down here too. Did you see that? It comes down kind of below here too. Okay.
And notice how she's keeping him crookedy.
Yeah, keep it crooked. It doesn't have to be exactly where he did his, but, You're
not trying to forge what he's doing.
No, we're just getting the gist. I mean, what can we learn from him, all right? So put that brush down. Here's a little bit of just burnt sienna, and I'm going to come up here on this side of our tree and add some, leave some of the dark to kind of indicate bark, like that. That's pretty good, yeah. And then maybe a little bit of yellow oxide in that color. I'm going to lighten this up just a hair. It's all a little dismal and dark to me. Well, I mean, he was doing this very quickly as a sketch, so we can be a little bit more bold with it. Okay, and then, let's see. Oh, yeah, there was here. I didn't see that. This end of this house had a board like this that came straight up and down here like that. That looks good. There we go. End of this house has a board. Did this one do too? Yeah, this one did too. Look at that. Wow, it's amazing what you look at. When you look at a picture, it's amazing the detail that you can see. Here's this up and down board on this one. So already we've got kind of a neat stuff in the snow here. Now let's take this little tiny brush and let's see. I have glasses on my head. I'll be able to see something. I'm going to blow this up so I can kind of see it. Well, he had some branches going this way too that are kind of coming. At this point, it's all very confusing to me. I don't know what anything's doing, so I'm gonna put some in too, because why not, right? Kind of coming up here like this and coming off this way. There'll be some snow sitting on top of them, so it's all right. There's something coming up this way, kind of I don't know, like that, and maybe something coming up off this way. We kind of breaking stuff up. It's very interesting. We've got these little ones coming out behind the tree like this. Ooh. and then something coming this way in front. And this looks like a stick. Do you guys see it? There's kind of a stick coming up here like that. I don't know why that would be here. I don't like it. We're not doing it. Haha, we're not doing it. So there. But maybe we could have a little bit of something growing up this way, like a little twig or something. That I don't mind. I can live with little tiny twigs and little grassy things doing that. So roll the brush back into water. Did I mention that sometimes what happens is that your brush the paint's drying in your brush as fast as it's drying on the canvas? And so what happens is that when you're painting, there's take a little bit of burnt sienna here and make a little bit of dirt for your grassies to grow out of. So you got to rinse your brush once in a while. That's one of the tips. We have some insanely easy things you need to know. Here, we've got a little bit of dark dirt coming here. Let's bring a little bit of dark dirt back up here in our snow. Okay, like that, in our river. Okay, here's our bank. Okay, like that. Oh, I'm telling you what, this is coming along. Now, I think, remember we did that other one. We need a little up and down line right here, like that, for the edge of this on each side of the door, or the edge of the building. Here's a little straight up and down line.
Judy made a comment, it seems like Fritz needed some personal art coaching.
Oh, Fritz was a really good painter, but, you know, but...
we just don't always agree with how he did some things.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I wasn't there. See, so what happens with artists is that they'll look at a tree like this, and they'll say, you know what, there's a branch here, I should put it. And it doesn't matter whether it kind of, you know what I mean? There's something here, so I should for sure put it. Well, maybe. Maybe not. Just because it's in the picture doesn't mean diddly squat. We used to say that too. Just doesn't matter, right? But, you know, you can put anything. Let's see, let's try a little bit of yellow oxide and burnt sienna now and put some little lighter twigs going up like that. And let's see, what was I going to do about the door? Oh yeah, there was a window over here, but I'm not putting it in. Sorry. All right, let's put this door in here like this. We're going to say inside here is a door. It's partially open. Why would you do that?
To let the chickens in and out.
Where you live, isn't that what they used to say? Were you born in a barn? Did they used to tell you that when you were a kid?
Oh,
you were born
yeah,
in a barn?
time.
If you left the door open, that was the famous thing to say. Like, I don't know, I'm not responsible for it. Was I? What are you telling me? Is there something
just want to know, did you live in a barn? Come on.
Is there something I need to know about Dad? Of course, if you said that, you know how fast you'd be swapped? Of course, when you're adopted, then they might say, yes, there is, but we didn't want to tell you, right? So well, I used to have a friend that was so funny. He lived in Aspen, and he was so cute. And he used to, his nationality was American Indian, and of course I'm part. And he would say things which I thought was adorable. Whenever he kind of screwed up, he'd say, I'm sorry, I'm American Indian. You know we're unreliable. That was his comment. He always, and of course, he was the only one that could say that. Anybody else said that, you know, and then that was not okay. But he could say it about himself. He'd always say, I'm unreliable. Just don't count on me. All right, there's the door in there. It's a little bit better, yeah?
Yeah, it looks a lot better.
And I'm not a big fan of leaving it open, personally. I think that you know, irresponsible people leave stuff like that open. If you want to, we can put in a little window here. I'm not against that. You know?
I thought you said you weren't going to put the window in.
Well, I lied. And put a little window in there, right, like that.
And this is why you always watch Ginger's lessons all the way through before you pick up the paintbrush.
And then, yeah, and I'm going to put a little thing here like that. There's a little window, right? All right, so what? There's a window. Just because I'm a nice person, we put the window in.
Christine would like to know, did you have your boiled eggs in soldiers, Ginger?
This interesting about the soldiers. You know, Christine and some of our English friends had said they have soldiers with their egg cups, and of course Americans have no idea what they're talking about. So
we had to ask.
So we had to ask, and soldiers apparently in England are little tiny strips of cut up bread that they toasted.
Oh, so it's not sausages?
No, it's little bits of bread.
Really?
They're called soldiers. Okay.
Oh, that's silly.
All right, now we're just kind of dry brushing on a little bit of light paint in a couple places. See, like that? It's just There you go, like that. Dry brushing on. We want this a little bit lighter around the door. There you go. Better? Yeah. Now the cabin sort of shows up. Aren't you kind of impressed?
Oh, the window was definitely needed.
It kind of needed that, I mean, all right, and we're going to lighten this up. Now what we're going to do, God, I know you can't wait, okay, is, let's see what I'm going to do. I'm going to zoom back out on my picture here. Let's see where to go. All right, here. I need to take that little brush back, and, well, I can use an angle brush. Small little angle brush would probably be fine, okay? Now, the next plan is to take some white paint like this, okay?
Strips of
a little
toast.
bit wider. And I'm going to use the angle, and I'm going to come along here on the top of this.
Oh, you can put some snow in.
And I'm going to deposit the snow.
Let's zoom in for this activity.
And I'm tapping, I'm not brushing. This is important. This is an important distinguishing bit. And it's whiter paint than the roof of the house, so it shows up. I'm using actually white paint. See how it's showing up because of that, right? I'm going to say it's kind of piled up on top of there like this.
Toasted bread cut in strips, then dip them in your yolk. Oh, yuck. No, that's just downright disgusting.
Well, John doesn't like soft-boiled eggs. So, all right.
Those eggs
there's a little bit of snow right here, but it was a little grayer. Let's just take that. It was a little bit of gray snow right here on our trunk too.
Gray snow's better than yellow snow.
Oh, yeah, boy. Did you ever see the sign? Somebody had, don't eat the yellow snow.
Don't eat the yellow snow.
Don't eat the yellow snow. Okay, so that's coming right up there like that. Now, this is fun, don't you think so? I mean, I think this. And then if we were going to be the last of the big spenders, did they used to say that? Let's come up here and put some snow on the fence. You see, because we made it. See, on our little fence. Look at that. Aren't you amazed? I am. Look at that going, look at how cute this looks.
Now you're going to fix that one branch, right? It's driving me nuts.
Which one?
The one that just crossed through with this. You have the branch in the front. Bring that one there. Follow it up. See how you now put it behind the fence that's a mile back?
Oh, well, I didn't see that, but that's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah, this is why we do this together. All right, so here we go.
We would like to thank Kim for the donation. We certainly appreciate that.
Oh, thank you so much. We really do.
She did that because she wanted you to put that branch back in the foreground, not in the background.
Yeah, well, these are little tricky things. That's called figure ground reversal. You don't know what's in front, what's in back, right? But
I knew what you were doing, and that's a very big branch to go all the way back there.
I think I want some snow on these trees back here too. Maybe not that bright. Let's make it a little more gray, shall we? Let's have a little more gray snow.
Yeah, because your eye really goes back there now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. Your eye goes to the lightest light and the darkest dark first. So you've got
Ross wants to know, do people eat snow? Yes, when we lived in Michigan, we created what was called snow cream. You take cream, sugar, and add some nice dry snow with vanilla. Oh, man, to die for. Now, you can't eat the east snow from East Michigan because it's too wet. You have to have the dry snow that comes off of Lake Michigan. You have to know where to shop for your snow.
No way. You ate snow and you called
absolutely.
it snow? No way.
Absolutely. It was delicious.
Oh my gosh.
And that's when you really go, don't eat the yellow snow. And we had tons of dogs running around.
That is really, I think that just is worse than cockroaches in the washing machine. I'm not sure.
What, eating snow? All right, let's do a survey. How many people have eaten snow? Come on. I love snow cream. Wendy, that's true. Mary, Gail, sure. See? I can't believe you've never eaten snow. Snow cream, that's what you live for. That's the only reason to live in the North.
All right, do you see how we just started adding white now? We didn't have to add any more dark branches, and we implied the branch by just adding a little snow now on it, and just like that. Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
right.
You never eat the first snow. You got to wait for the second snow.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Okay, and we got anything kind of a little bit of snow hooked back here like that.
Yeah, I was close to Kalamazoo, so it was very dry snow.
Okay.
Good powdery stuff. Best stuff to eat.
That's interesting.
Most of the people have eaten snow.
Really?
Mona, who lives in the north, has not eaten snow. Mona.
Well, now she'll feel obligated. Now she'll feel like to be one of us. She has
Sandra
to eat
even
snow.
made snow cream in Mississippi.
No way. I'm just.
Kathy D, I tried snow and I liked it.
Wow. Kathy,
I can't believe
Kathy,
you haven't.
I'm shocked.
Oh, maple syrup and snow. Have you ever had that combination?
No.
Oh.
No.
Mm-mm.
I think I've got to bring this down.
Maureen would like to have a little snow on the windowsill, please.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Yeah, excellent idea. Yeah.
We like you people being involved with this.
Yeah, good point. So, yeah, we should have some icicles. He didn't have any, but listen, we should have some icicles.
With all this talk of snow cream, and I think we should have a kid there with a bowl of snow.
Shush. There, icicles. Better, right? Then we need to...
Gail lives right next to Lake Michigan. She didn't get dry snow? Well, it probably goes up and over. Oh, Christine, who does not get to come on normally, would like to play the trivia game, please.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Can we, when we do that, I want to take a second and dry this, and then I want to add...
I thought you said you were going to do no drying.
I would like to just take 1 minute to dry it. I just know you've been with us all day. We appreciate the fact you hung with us. I think this painting is kind of cool. Don't you guys think so?
I think you did a magnificent job.
We're not even
I
done
am
yet.
truly surprised that you took that painting and made something out of it.
We need a little log here that's sitting up here, like at this, like a little stump right here. He had one, right? A little stump. And then on top of the stump is this little lump of snow, right, like that.
For those that are coming in late, this is a 9x12 canvas.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just putting some of the dark brown back in this, you know, like he's got a little dark brown. Let's see, that's not dark brown.
Hey, did you roll that dice? I didn't see you get the number.
Yeah, all right, rolling the dice. Now, for those of you who don't know what this is, we
It's
try
a
to
die.
do this. It's a die. It's a die, right? Dice is 2 dice. For those of you, English is a second language. Dice means 2, die means 1. It's stupid. We don't know how that happened, but most people refer to this as dice, but it's really die.
Die. It was one
How
die.
would you spell that?
D-I.
Huh, all right.
How
so,
would you spell it?
I don't know, John.
Oh, I don't
I'm
know.
just
How would you
asking.
spell... If you had a pair of dice, but you only have one die, how would you spell it, folks? We'll take a survey.
All right, so we're going to roll it here, and this is
It's a
art
3.
trivia. It's a number 3.
That's a win.
This is a win question. This is art history, so to put your thinking caps on. It's called Stump the
Here,
Artist.
there's the
Okay.
question. Here, I'll put the question up. There's the question.
Yep.
All
You
right.
can mute me while I'm.
Oh, you're
and
gonna
you
dry?
Can, yeah, I'll
All right.
dry, and you do that, right?
All right, you're quieted. All right, while she's busy drying, we got a question here. I got to find one that I can really read. You know, I'm not the best of reading, especially this old stuff. I think we'll go with this one. In which year did Jacques-Louis David paint the death of Marat? Marat? M-A-R-A-T. In which year... Let me bring her back. Here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
In which year did Louis David paint the death of Marat? M-A-R-A-T?
Marat?
Okay. 1598, 1793, or 1888? It's die. They're putting an E on it. D-I-E. So that is another reason why the English language is so confusing. You spell this thing the same way, and you get different meanings.
All right, I'm going to tap on another branch up here just by using white paint. Coming like this. Going to imply another branch. He has something kind of coming up this way too. We just don't want, I don't think it has to be that bright. We could be a little bit less bright on the snow. Could be a less bright, but I'm not going to outline it. I'm just going to, this a little higher. And then I got a little bit of snow right here on this branch, and then we got a little snow here. I would say one of the things that you've got to, when you're thinking about the history of art, if you want a really good history of art course and you have Netflix, there was this nun that did a whole series. It's a nun, a history of art. I don't remember her name, Sister something or other, and she did. She did beautiful history of art course on probably 20 years ago. It's probably still around. You probably can still rent those on Netflix, and really that's a wonderful thing to.
We're starting to get some answers in. Rave Arts 1793, Kathleen 1793, Jennifer 1793, Stalin 1793, Kim Song 1793, Gail at 1888.
Let me say, when they're talking about the death of somebody, if you look at the old
No, we're not talking about the death. This is a painting that he did that's called
the death of the death, but they painted that kind of stuff, somebody, Jesus on the cross, or the death of this or that, way back when. So I would say that the Wayback Machine, I would say it's got to be the earliest date. That's my guess.
You're going to go with 1598.
Yeah.
Huh. I would have you're the only one that's guessing 1598.
That's all right.
And you're the only one that's totally 100% wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm wrong. Wow.
1793. If you got 1793 on that one, you give yourself 1,000 points.
Wow.
If you get 1888, I'll give you 500 because you tried.
All right.
Door handle can be on either side. My front door, our door. They're thinking that in his
picture, he has it there. He has it here.
Yeah, because if you look at the original, let me blow up the original for a second. We're going to have to cover her picture for a second, but let's blow this up.
Yeah, blow up the original so you guys can see it. I mean, I'm just saying, right?
Let me get it. Yeah. See how it's open there? So she has it on the right side. She needs a little bit more dark in the upper right corner to really...
Up here?
Yeah, and kind of get rid of the dark that you have on the left side.
All right, let me just get rid. Let me
Yeah,
just
we'll make that a little more realism for you folks.
All right, let me just put
There you go. We can do that.
down here like this. Oops, didn't want to do that.
Gail, congratulations on that 500. That could roll you over to your 10 million you're going to need by the end of the year.
Oh, then you got John. You're right. Did anybody tell you that? So you're saying you want a little bit darker up here, right?
Just in that corner, just in a little snuggy corner.
Well, that's because the door was open.
Yeah, slightly open.
I don't think the door should be.
Now it looks like somebody took a big bite out of the door.
Well, you said dark. You weren't specific. You can't be making these suggestions and then.
You have the original in front of you.
Well, who's looking at it this way?
I've seen you reach across and zoom in on it. Zoom in on that door and look at it for a second.
I know what it was. I just wasn't sure I wanted to do that. But here it is. Everybody has an option. It's all optional, man. It's optional.
Judy Smith would like to know, Ginger, what side is the light coming from? It's very flat.
It's very flat. There is no side the light's coming from particularly. It's just some areas are going to be lit up than others. There's no side. There's no side on a case like this. So now you're just talking about. Now you've got to go back to your design. Where you want your lightest light and the darkest dark by your center of interest. And now as an artist, your job is to let's get this a little darker back up in here, and take this little bit of our snowbank here, and say that this is kind of coming around here like this. Here we go. All right, let's take some mixing white, Mitch, so your transparent white, okay? And put a little tiny bit of brown with it, not much. Now, I'm going to come in here like this, and remember my...
Are you still classifying this as a one cookie, or have we gone to two cookies?
Yeah, it's still a one cookie.
You think it's still a one cookie? I'm going to say it's a cookie with some crumbs.
Okay, I'm going to come across here like this, at this angle. Wipe most of the paint off the brush and just come up there like this.
Oh, I like that.
Say this is our, and then I'm going to come on this side of our tree here, say this little corner here. So see, here's our tree kind of going this way, and you can have a few little things going across it, right? And then we're saying that this is all going, I'm using the flat of the brush and just sort of, this is called dry brushing. I'm pushing pretty hard. I'm just saying there's the water there, and then I'm going to come over here like this. See, there's a little bit of something here, a little bit of something in here. There, like that, okay? So we're saying that that's where our water went. And then I want a little bit darker here. I'm going to come back with my dark and say that here's this dark right under here like this, where I want to make sure I've got my tree right like that. That's that reflection. Now what he did, which is kind of cool, was then he took this little plop of snow. He had a couple little rocks that were
Ooh, that's bright.
yeah, it is. That's a little bit brighter than the rest of it. Let's tone that down, because that's pure white, right? That's without graying the white. It's interesting, isn't it? So we may have to dry that little. Let's see. In fact, I'm going to wipe that off and do it again.
Wendy would like to know, has Ginger tried Cinnamon's cat tongue brushes?
Not yet. I've tried them all except for those. Here, I need to put this back the way it was. Sorry. Where's my mixing white and brown? Sometimes, you know, what I like about acrylics is if you get it wrong, you can just wipe it off and start again, like this. Okay, we're going to come in here like that with our water, but it's got to be, let's see, a little more brown with that. There we go. Now I'm going to come in here with the white, and it's got to be an off-white. It's got to be kind of an off-white gray color. Here's our little pile of snow, and he's got another one right here, kind of level. And then he's got something growing out here like that. Like that. So now we're starting to put in our little plops of, it's, you know, it's a little stream here, so then maybe there's these little rocks that are here.
If you're curious about the labels on the palette, those are available on our website in the form. You can just go into the form, Community Center, I think is what we called it, and you can find them in there. Wendy might be able to find a link for them.
Is Wendy on now?
Yeah, Wendy's been on.
Hey,
She came on.
You said she wasn't here.
She wasn't when you said that. That was the first thing. She was probably driving around. Who knows?
All right. Hi, Wendy. All right. So I want to.
Hi, Wendy, and that's the end of the show. You've been here all day working like a diligent dog.
I'm going to just put a few little grasses here, right, like that. There's just something kind of, you know, growing up. Little weeds growing up out of the snow here like that. And I don't know. He had some little dark thing here. I don't care with that. That makes no sense to me at all. If you're going to say there's a little bit of rock here, that's okay. Put one, but kind of do it level, I think. Like that. Make more of a space like that. And then I would say if you do that, then have some little grasses growing up. Something like that. All right, so there's our shadow. Let's see, we're coming down here like this. He had, right here, he had some little leaves on this one. And that's a little bit of burnt sienna, you know. I think there was, maybe there weren't, but I just did it. I thought there were some little leaves, though, like that, like that. Let's see, what else? I'm just looking at what else can we put on here. Let's see, we need some snow piled back up here, like that, on our cabin. This is why I love snows, because just, there was a bush in front of this cabin, but I like our cabin. I don't want to put a bush there.
Oh, so that bush really ruined it. I don't know why he put that in.
I don't think we needed a bush. That's what happens, though, with artists is that they'll, it was in the scene, so they feel obligated to put it. Does that make sense?
Thank you, Wendy.
Okay, so there we go. Let's see. I think we're about done. What do you guys think? Before we go, I want to look at this and see, because sometimes if you just take a second and look, you can see something you want to do. Like, for instance, like this looks like, I hate that.
This looks like what?
I know, but I hate it. And incidentally, I want to show some stuff too. So, besides that,
and look at your hands.
What?
Before you start grabbing things.
What's wrong with my hands?
They're covered in paint.
Well, of course, I've been painting. What's new here? All right, I want to take some kind of slightly brown snow, and I want to skinny this tree up right here with some beige. There you go.
Oh, it's too fat of a tree for you?
It's just a little fat. Doesn't it look better? Just kind of turn that tree down a little bit. I don't know what happened here. I don't like it.
And that is the beauty of acrylics.
Yeah, it is, because if you don't like it, you can change it, yeah?
She hated the fat tree that was back there.
So I just changed it. I mean, that's the wonderful thing about it, you know? You can change anything. And if you guys, again, I want to say something. If you guys are liking, if you are liking what we're doing, I want to just mention this again. Next week while we're gone, we're going to be painting a kaleidoscope full of horses. Isn't that cool? There'll be a traceable on our website for that. That'll be next week. Next week also we're going to be doing Fairyland. This is done by this is an original Ginger Cook. This is a old dead artist in the 1800s called Fairyland. I want to show you that.
Late 1800s.
And then our members at gingercooklive.gallery are going to be painting this vase. Turquoise vase. It reminds me of the ocean. Isn't that pretty? And I hope you do it bigger than what I did. But that makes the lesson watchable. And we do a lot of our paintings small so that you learn. You don't waste a lot of money figuring out how to do it. If you try to do something 16 by 20 and it doesn't work out, then you're in trouble. But if you're liking snow scenes, okay, remember, if you go to, guys, go to Ginger Cook Live on Vimeo. Look up my channel on Vimeo, all right, Vimeo. You can see where you can get our village pieces.
Till we get our website redone.
The whole, we're trying to fix our website. So this whole series of 7 videos is up on Vimeo, like that. I mean, look at that. This is our little, this is our village pieces. They're 6 by 8. And if you're a member, you get, and even now available as the candy shop and the other one. So there's 7 different ones available. The toy store's available now. We were going to wait till Thanksgiving, but we've released that too. And members get a 20% discount. So if you want your discount, you think you're going to be doing, it's less money if you will join us for a week. We'll still give you the discount. Even if it's a 7-day membership, we'll give you the discount to buy these if you want it. These are downloadable, own them forever videos from the year. This is our winter collection. Okay, so there you go. That's I got to put a plug in for what we do. And I think looking at this, I'm pretty happy with how this all went. I think this a very good example of how you can take a dark background and then create just a marvelous snow thing with it. Oh, I see one thing we forgot. I've got to put this in here. This is like doing a puzzle, isn't it? Now see here, this little post goes all the way down here. Oh, look at that. And I didn't know that when I first saw that, but it does. It goes all the way down here, and it's like that. So any fabulously interesting questions we would love to answer before we sign off, and thank you so much for subscribing to our website. Please look at our playlist for all the neat other ones that we have on our on our YouTube channel. We've got some beautiful, beautiful snow scenes if you're loving to be painting snow. I'm just going to come back here and darken a couple of things up here like that. So make a little brown with that. I don't want it really blue, but you know, just darkening a few little things back up here. It's really dark, kind of back up there. So it's kind of taking your eye back up to our cabin. And let's see what else. That's pretty good. I think we're done, John. I will sign it.
Yeah, you sign it, and we got another 20 minutes to go.
Really? Did I? How did I do?
Well, let's see. We've been on the air for 1 hour 18 minutes. You did good.
I think that's pretty good. I mean, you're getting. I think that's really pretty. And if you look at the, you've got the picture up there for them,
they
right?
got the picture, and I think most people agree that you've gingerized it. You fixed it.
I think this would be a charming holiday card, and it doesn't matter. The copyright's long gone on this. I'm not claiming a copyright as far as you painting it and making a holiday card. I was going to start to tell you how to do that. There's these websites that you can go, and they will make the cards up for you. Now, if you have an Apple computer, Apple will do it, but they're kind of expensive when you do it that way. The least expensive way is couple of inexpensive ways to do it. One year, I went to an office supply store, and I found some wedding invitations where you put your own photograph in. And then what I did was I printed. Did you know that your printer, if you have an inkjet printer, they have watercolor paper you can print it out on? Did you guys know that? And then you can glue, and then you can glue the picture onto the wedding invitation card instead of the picture of the bride and groom or something. And then you can those make beautiful, beautiful holiday cards. And you sign a number of them, and then people can then frame them. So it becomes a gift in itself. Ah, you didn't think about that, did you?
Karen,
As opposed,
Go, you done?
Well, I'm just saying that you can do that, or you can go to like places and have them printed online very inexpensively too.
Karen's a new person and would like to know, please explain the membership. How many videos can you get for a month?
Well, this is the wonderful thing, Karen. This is one of these membership that grows every month. It's expanding, like winning the lottery, except that the more videos come in. So when we first started out there, a few years ago, there weren't that many, but now there's over 300 that you have 24-hour access to. Everything from 1 cookie lessons clear up to
a box of cookies.
Speaking
of a box of cookies.
Box of cookies. Speaking of box of cookies, look at this. We have a Wave and Water Masterclass. You want to zoom out a little bit for me, John?
Yes, boss.
And the same artist, this Fritz Thaulow. All right, now look, this is another one of his paintings. And this is our Wave and Water Masterclass. Of course, it's on a little bit bigger canvas, 16 by 20. And you see, did you get the feel of this wonderful water that he's got here? And we just moved the palette out of the way. There's that. And then last year for our Wave and Water Masterclass, we did another one of his. We did this one. Look here.
You always bump me.
Sorry. We did this one. Isn't that just cool?
And that was his too, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's his too. And I just absolutely love the canals that he's doing. Obviously, there are 2 different places. Like this is a different place than that one. But there you go. There's this one, and this is our Wave and Water Masterclass. And I want a caveat for our members. Because of the editing in this will probably come out at the end of the first week in
It'll
October.
be late coming out, but it'll be there.
It'll be there, but we won't have it out October 1st. But this is the monthly release for our Wave and Water Masterclass, which I think is really, really cool. So I hope you guys like those. And remember, if you're liking this artist, here's another one he did, which we also have on our website. It's one of the ones we have on our website that's easy to do. And we've got a smaller one, kind of a 1 cookie one, like this. This is a little farmyard. So just, you don't have to make it all tricky. It can be, you build it up. You build up step by step how you do this. And let's see, where did my Pasco pens go? Pasco pens. Where they are? They're in here, I think. No? Where's my jar of stuff? Everything moves. There we go. I'm going to take a little pen. Now, somebody said, all right, this is another service announcement, because my friend Lorraine, who I teach private lessons with, she's whining to me yesterday, and she's going, well, I don't know. I did these pens, and I did a card, and they spit all over my thing. Well, she's shoving really hard on them. I was watching how she's using them, right? You could hear it scrape like that. I was going, what are you doing? First off, you've got to, anytime you use any kind of pen that has ink in it and a little ball, before you use it, even if you've opened it, you've got to shake it. And the first time, shake it for at least a minute, okay? And shake it with the cap on. It's a public service announcement here. Otherwise, you're going to spray pen ink all over the room, all right? Then what you do is you take the pen and you very gently pump it, okay? And if it's brand new, you do this and get the air out before you write with it. Now, this is still white. I'm going to just do here. Here we go. Look how beautiful these write.
And they are acrylic based.
And it's acrylic based. And they're the only pen I've ever bought. Gosh, they should just give me stock in the company. Only pen I've ever bought where they didn't clog after a week. Now everybody's works fine for the first 10 minutes, and then after that, no matter what you do, they're not so great. These absolutely work. And let's see, we didn't ever use any of we used a little of that CAD red medium. Here's a little bit of red. I always put a little red slash through my name right like there. Little tiny. There you go, just like that. And it's signed. And
So that means you're done.
That means I'm done. And I wanted to say, if you're having trouble with the small branches, you can take a pen like this and, put the snow on it. If you're having trouble, particularly where it's going to be white.
You could even do that with the brown.
You could do it with the brown, too. You could do it with the brown one. So don't be afraid to... that's okay. It's not cheating, you guys.
It's
that's
acrylic
cheating.
paint. It's just a different brush.
It's just a different brush. In fact, you can buy... I've never done it, but you can actually buy acrylic... ink and special pens that you can put them in, almost like old timey pens. So, old timey pens. You like that word? Old timey
pens. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can do. I've never bought any of that stuff, but you can, and it's not cheating. All right, so that was our lesson for today. We're going to have hopefully we'll have a nice time out of town next week. We look forward to hearing your comments. Anything you comment on now during a live show does not show up on our on the feed after the video goes up. In other words, YouTube processes it. So Tony always writes some beautiful comments, and so does Mona and Wendy. I read you guys. Miss Angie, I'm telling you what, I read you guys. I appreciate you guys that comment. I try to comment back as soon as I can, and we appreciate you guys. And anytime you want to comment, and likes. Oh, have we got a lot of likes on this? Hope so.
Oh, I don't know. Do we?
Hope you've done some likes on this, you guys. I hope you like it.
235. That's
good. Well, we appreciate it, and we know it's at the end of the day for everybody. So thank you very much, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right, I think that's it, guys. We don't have anything else to say.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Subscribe.
Oh yeah, subscribe. It's always good.
Help us reach our goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year.
Oh, let's take a quick look where we're at. Let's see if that'll come up quickly.
I don't know if that's even possible now. We've been asking people. We need your help.
41,728. A ways to go, guys. All right, everyone. Let's have the bear take us out as he brought us in. Night, everyone.
Night.
And now, without further ado, I have the distinguished honor and privilege of presenting to you the Queen of Color, the Mother of Artists, globally acclaimed, award-winning master acrylic artist, and the star of our show, Ginger Cook, as she once again mesmerizes her audience with the daring do's and don'ts of painting with acrylic.